You're
This
shotgunning
isn't.
though.
This
You're not
isn't
answering
your.
the question.
No. You shotgunned, and I let you talk.
No,
You
no.
made
I gave a
You
single.
made 4 different points. You want to talk about? Listen.
No,
When you
which
speak,
4 points
you
did I
gotta
make?
know. You have to know what you say. So I'm gonna tell you the points that I wrote down, so you can see that you talk a lot more than you realize.
Yeah, no, actually, thank you for coming. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Yeah, so I see that the prompt is intriguing, so I want to come up and see what arguments you present.
For sure. Yeah, we're just talking about anything that we were talking. I'm sure you heard the entire conversation we were just having about the Islamic dilemma. And I asked my brother, well, you know what? We can start off with the question that I was asking him. Maybe you can give me an answer, because as much as I like Nizam and he's a great guy, he's an intelligent guy, and I love him, and I really do appreciate him calling here. I think we had a very healthy conversation. The one question I continue to ask that I didn't get an answer to was a very simple one, and that is why did he say that the Quran affirms the previous scriptures, but only parts of the previous scriptures? So I said, okay, great. If that's what you're trying to tell me, and if you think that's a solid answer to the Islamic dilemma, then my question to you is, where in the Quran does it say I'm only affirming parts of the previous scriptures and not the previous scripture in its entirety?
Yeah, there's many ways to go about this, but I can give you one of the main ones,
Sure.
which is going to be the argument of conscious edits, where the Quranic author throughout the Quran actively or specifically knowing the biblical accounts has no issue in doing conscious edits of them. And we see this countless of times when it comes to for example, the event of the crucifixion, or when it comes to the deity of Christ, or when it comes to historical attestation or accounts of prophets. We see that the Quranic author does conscious edits, therefore he cannot be holistically affirmed in the biblical accounts.
Okay, but the question was, where does the Quran state that you can only affirm parts of the previous scripture? I understand what you're saying. I understand what your belief is as far as corruption. That's not what I asked you, though. What I asked you was, where does the Quran state that it's only affirming the previous scriptures in partiality and not in generality? Where does the Quran say that? And I'm not asking for an exact word fallacy. I'm just asking you a simple question. You can go to any one of them, because there's several that we look at the plain reading of these verses and we read them in context. As you can see, you've been here long enough to know that I do that, right? I do not believe in reading things out of context. I think it's a cowardly way to do things. My question is, where does the Quran say, again, not exact word fallacy, where does it say affirm the previous scriptures, but only parts of the previous scriptures? Or something like that?
I got you. I think you misunderstood my point. Because you're asking for a verse, or you're asking to read in context, but you have to understand that the historical reading or the historical revelation of the Quran is also important. Meaning that we also have to know how the Quranic author, or his perspective, or how he's actually presented this. So look, for example, if the Quranic author affirms the scriptures, but has no issue in saying that some of these scriptures are going to be wrong by doing conscious edits, it means that whoever authored the Quran does not believe that it is absolutely true. So the question is going to... Wait, one second. I know.
Go ahead.
1 second.
Go ahead.
So the question is, if the Quranic author doesn't believe that the scriptures are going to be absolutely true, why should I extend to me, and why should I have to hold to the same position when he doesn't hold to that?
Well, so you're making the claim that the Bible has been put through edits. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that's what the Quranic author believed.
Okay, how do you know what he believed?
Through the conscious edits that he makes in the Quran.
And give me an example of one of those conscious edits.
Yeah, for example, the account of let's go to the account of the crucifixion.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Quran negates the account of the crucifixion, although it's aware that this is what the Christians believed in, and that's what's in the scriptures. Okay. So although he can fast with them, he has no issue in negating an essential belief that they have that's found in the scriptures. So that means that the Quranic author does not believe that everything you have is true.
Correct, and that's fine, but you're utilizing circular logic, because you're stating, well, you guys believe that the crucifixion will happen, but the author of the Quran did not believe it, and therefore it's true. That's not good.
Wait, no. Are you just so I'm clear? Are you agreeing that the Quranic author doesn't believe everything you have is true?
I'm sorry, that the Quranic author doesn't believe what?
That everything you have is true. Are you agreeing with that?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to sit there and appeal to what the Quranic author believed, because I have no idea what he believed. And for me, it doesn't matter.
Wait. Hold on. wait, if I want to know what the Quranic author believes, I can refer back to the Quran, correct?
Okay, great. So here's the thing, and I understand.
Wait. 1 second, please. This is very important.
Okay, doesn't say.
Do you agree with me? Wait, do you agree with me that if the Quranic author does conscious edits of the biblical account, it means he does not believe it is absolutely true, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. He didn't believe. Obviously, he thought it was. I don't know I don't know if he believed it was true or there was something else behind it. But I'm not appealing to what he believed because I don't care.
Host, you just conceded the argument.
I did not concede anything.
Wait, the whole point of the Islamic dilemma is that the Quranic author confirms everything, but you just conceded that if he does the conscious edit, it means he doesn't confirm everything.
Well, right. So, and that's exactly the point, is that it affirms the previous scripture, but then in other parts, it does not affirm things that are in the previous scripture that it affirmed before.
Wait, but according to you, your initial position was that nowhere does the Quranic author believe that everything must be affirmed.
Okay, Muslim.
Parts must be affirmed.
Muslim. I know what you're trying to. I know what you're trying to do. All right, and it's not going to work here. Okay,
man.
I'm going back to the original question because you're trying to appeal to what some magical Quranic author thought, and I don't care what he thought. You're talking about a Quranic author.
I think it's very important to the conversation.
Well, I'm sure you do, but that's not the point. But the point is not what you think is important. The point is the truth. So here, I'm going to ask you one last time because you're going all over the place here. You're doing a lot of waffling, and I'm pretty disappointed in you. The question was,
yeah, sure.
Where does the Quran state that you only affirm parts of the previous scripture? Give me 1 second, brother Mike. What's up, brother?
Oh, I just wanted to let you know that none of us on video can see any of the callers in chat because you still have this screen up. So.
Oh yeah, here I'll bring up the guests. The guy I'm talking to right now is on TikTok, but I'll happily bring him up. Yeah, for sure.
Am I good to go?
Yeah. Yeah. So the question was, where in your Quran? I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear.
I'll give an example.
Yeah. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear anything about. Oh, brother, relax. Okay. I'm asking you a simple question, right? I don't want to hear anything else about the Quranic author and this and that. I'm asking you, where does it say that it's only parts of the previous scripture that are affirmed? Where? Because I don't see that anywhere.
Yeah, I got you. Chapter 4, verse 157 specifically mentions that Christ wasn't crucified. Therefore, the Quranic author doesn't affirm it. Therefore, we don't affirm it. And that means we do not affirm the crucifixion account found in your synoptics. That's it. No more, no less.
What the heck does that have to do with what I asked you?
I'll tell you. Do you want me to syllogize it for you? I'll tell you.
You can syllogize whatever you want, but you didn't answer the question.
Yeah. The question was where in the Quran does it tell you to take parts. So the way to substantiate that is to show that the Quran negates essential beliefs of Christianity. Sure, no issue. I can show that. Chapter 4, 157 negates the account of the crucifixion. Therefore, it is not gonna extend to what I believe. Therefore, I don't believe it in the insofar as the Quran.
Brother, simple. I don't care what you believe. You're very confused as to how this works. Very confused.
I quoted the Quran, sir. I quoted chapter 4.
You're appealing to circular reasoning and saying, well, 4157 says it didn't happen. Listen, I don't know if you've ever watched me before, but I am not going to sit here and be audited by how you think I should answer questions, right? What I am telling you,
I don't ask a question.
Right. You're not going to audit the way that I answer questions and what I ask, right? And you can laugh all you want because I think that you came in here thinking that you were going to make a point. I don't care if 4157 denies the crucifixion for a lot of different reasons.
The Quranic author doesn't believe it, although it's in the Bible.
Okay.
It means it.
Brother, I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm not wearing a hijab, so you will not talk over me, okay? What I am asking you...
what does that mean?
What it means is that I'm not one of the women in your family that you're going to open your mouth and everybody's going to stay shut. All right? If you're going to talk to me, you're going to answer the question, and you're going to answer only the question. I don't care about Surah 4157 denying the crucifixion because Surah 4157 only showed that Muhammad used to listen to a lot of different people but didn't actually know what was in the scripture, which is why he affirmed it without knowing what was in it. Right?
According to our reports,
here's the question again. Maybe you'll answer it this time. Where does it say that it only selectively? I don't want your disjointed point of, well, it says this over here, so that means it's selective. Bull crap. If the Quran was going to say something, it would have said it to you directly. It's not going to leave you context clues like Inspector Gadget. So my question to you is, where does it say that you only affirm parts of the previous scripture? That's it. That's all I want to know.
Wait, are you saying that the only way for us to derive this belief is that it must be verbatim in a verse? Like I'm trying to like understand the point of view that you're trying to
Brother,
present.
it's not a difficult question. It's not. Are you
No,
guys
but
okay
yeah,
today?
and I gave wait, hold on. You do understand that like I already gave you two arguments, and you've already filtered them, and you hand waved them because for some reason, or you don't like the historical context of the Quran. Although this is going to be very important to the discussion. That's the first thing. Second of all, you said that Muhammad peace and peace upon him wasn't aware when we have specific reports of his students specifically learning the Hebrew Bible. So how is it possible that Muhammad is unaware of the biblical accounts when his own students knew the context of the Bible?
Well, then they
So
got
that
a lot of
doesn't
things.
work.
They got many
Wait,
things wrong for sure.
wait, yeah,
No,
wait.
you wait.
So,
You wait. The problem
no,
is
hold
you're
on.
again
That's
talking.
not,
You're
you
monologuing
fumbled.
instead of answering the question.
Wait, you
That's
just fumbled, but you made a claim. You're the one that made the claim that Muhammad wasn't aware of the accounts.
brother.
Unfortunately,
I'm
unfortunately, wait, wait.
I'm only gonna ask you one more time, man, because it's like you guys just don't get it. You're in
No,
such
no, you
denial.
don't
Hold
want to
on,
just the
brother. Hold
argument.
on. You're no. There is no argument. I asked you a question, and you're talking about everything but what I asked you. So I'm gonna ask you one last time, okay? Because 157 doesn't help you. Your Quran denying the crucifixion means absolutely nothing because all of history in antiquity makes it clear that the crucifixion happened. Right? So if you think that that's a way out of the Islamic dilemma, congratulations for you, right? And despite what anybody says in the comment section or whatever, if you're dumb enough to not understand how him not addressing the question is enough to make it known that he doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm going to ask again because the previous guest rather, was at least respectful enough to try to give a semblance of an answer, even though he didn't. He appealed to 548, right? This brother came in here saying that 4157 means that the author didn't agree with everything. But in 1094, 3, and 4, and 547, he makes it clear that the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed therein. Not some of what he has revealed therein, what Allah has revealed therein. If any do fail to judge by what Allah has revealed, they are those who rebel. Quran 1094. If you are in doubt about what we have revealed to you, then ask those who have been reading the book before you. Quran 3, and 4. He has sent down upon you, O Muhammad, the book and truth, confirming what was before it, and he revealed the Torah and the gospel. So again, I love when people are saying Christians preaching when I'm reading the Quran, but again, I'll ask you one last time.
You want to let me speak or what?
Yeah, no, I had to lower you because you were being
I want us to progress. What about the primary argument that I gave? You think is worth dismissing, on the basis that it doesn't give us a historical account of the Quran. I want to know
because
like, what is
you are attempting to take Surah 4157, which is a known contradiction, and present it as though it is a proof for selective confirmation, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, of course. Wait, no. Telling me that it's ridiculous is not going to move us forward. I need to know why it's ridiculous. Give me the reason why I can't use it as a way to say that the Quranic author doesn't affirm an absolute confirmation.
Because there's nothing in the plain reading of the text that makes it clear that there was anything that should be selective about the confirmation.
That's begging the question.
It's not begging the question.
I'll tell you why. I'm not just going to say it. I'll tell you why. Because you're assuming the conclusion in the premise. You're saying, oh, look, there is nothing that the Quran states that allows for selective confirmation. Okay. And therefore, the conclusion is that there's nothing that allows for selective confirmation. So, the whole point is that I'm presenting a specific verse where the Quranic author negates an essential belief in the Bible. I'm not asking you, tell me why this wouldn't qualify or why this wouldn't allow that since the Quranic author doesn't have an absolute confirmation, therefore it would extend to those who affirm the Quran. And all you've done is saying, look, this is ridiculous. You haven't actually given a good reason to why I wouldn't entail a partial confirmation or general confirmation. So I need to actually give an account. If we're going to move forward, why am I being dismissed?
I was pretty clear. Do you want me to repeat why it's ridiculous? You want me to repeat why your logic fails?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me why it doesn't work.
The Quran never says only confirm bits that fit the Quran.
Does,
no, it doesn't.
It does.
Okay. If you're going, listen, if you want an answer, dude, I'm telling you right now, stop talking over me. All right. Just like I gave you the respect, even though I gave you the respect, even though everything you said was complete crap, I'm answering your question, right? You're making the assertion that the Quran only affirms parts of the Bible, right? even though it commands Christians and Jews to judge by the scriptures that they have in the scriptures that I already gave you, right? So it's not talking about some hypothetical lost text, right? Now, if you want to talk about your own religion, every major tafsir, including Tabari, Ibn Kathir, and Qurtubi, confirms that these commands are directed at real Jews and Christians using the real Torah and the real gospel in Muhammad's day. There's nothing in the plain reading that justifies. Stop talking, dude. This isn't your. No. You shotgunned, and I let you talk.
I gave a.
You made 4 different points. You want to talk about, listen, when you speak, you got to know, you have to know what you say. So I'm going to tell you the points that I wrote down so you can see that you talk a lot more than you realize. You made 4 different points. 4 different points. You said that it was ridiculous to dismiss selective confirmation from the Quran, right? You also made the claim that Surah 4157 is a contradiction and proof that the Quran selectively confirms the Bible. You also made the point and argued that unless the Quran gives an explicit absolute confirmation, there's no reason to say that the Quran affirms a full text. And you also said that I was challenged to give you a real reason why the Quranic confirmation can be selective. So don't talk about shotgunning when you come in here and shotgun, and then when someone addresses you, you don't like it.
You just lied. I never made that third point that you just stated.
Okay,
when did I make that point?
Yeah, you're right. You never made that.
Now it's the second time you're cool with your pants down now. Cool, that's fine.
You didn't catch me with my pants down because you haven't actually answered the question. You came in here and stated that Quran 4157 proves that selective affirmation of the Bible is proof that it's not a general affirmation. And you think that's an intelligent answer.
First, wait. I want to know how is you appealing to the tafsirs which refute you, actually, because Ibn Kathir himself refutes you. Actually helps you in this case, because I don't negate that the Jews and the Christians had some sort of Torah and Injil during that time. I don't negate that. I found that. There's no issue with that. Now look, this doesn't tell me. You still haven't answered the damn question. Why would it be ridiculous?
Brother, who the hell do you think you're talking to? I asked you a question.
Wait.
You still haven't answered the damn question. You're not as intellectual as you think you are, and you're trying to come in here talking to me again look, like I'm wearing a hijab. You're not cute. You're not smart. You're not funny. You're not intelligent, brother. You came in here and used Surah 4157, and you're trying to tell me that confirms selective confirmation of the Bible because you appealed to the state of mind of the Quranic author and said because he denied the crucifixion. Despite all of history, that means he didn't agree with it. Therefore, it means that the Bible is selectively affirmed because 4157 denies the crucifixion. Are you serious? Bro came in here and said you still haven't answered the question as if I asked you a question and your answer was so ad hoc that it's pathetic.
Wait, how's my answer ad hoc?
Because I asked you where the Quran says that you only affirm things in part, and you appeal to a verse that denies a historical event and said, therefore, that means that the Quranic author meant that he's only affirming part of it. And yet the other ones say nothing about affirming part of it. It says confirming the book and truth.
I'll make it simple for you. I'll make it very simple for both of us. Does the Quranic author negate the biblical account of the crucifixion?
We've already gone over this.
Can you just tell us?
We've gone over this. I'm not going to play your game.
So, yes, according to the host, he believes that the Quranic author negates the biblical account of the crucifixion. Now, can you please inform us and everyone in the chat, how the hell is there absolute confirmation when the Quranic author specifically negates the biblical account?
Because the Quranic author is an idiot who didn't know what he was talking about. That's why.
Okay, nice. Very good. Very good point. So if the Quranic author was aware of the biblical accounts, my argument would follow, correct?
The Quranic author thought that he knew what was in the Bible and clearly did not.
No. I'm saying, I'm saying if we can historically show that he did know that counts.
No.
Okay, if I give you evidence historically that he did know that counts, my argument would follow, correct?
No, because if you look at the Quran, it talks about Abraham, right? It talks about Abraham without knowing who his wife was, right? It gets details wrong, right? And your 13-year-old girl laugh doesn't get you out of it because Surah 4157 is not helping you. So again, I'm gonna ask you one last time,
man.
right? And then I'm gonna send you back to your insignificant TikTok.
Hey, man.
Where
Hey, man.
does the
we
Quran
both
say?
know how this went.
Where-
We
yeah.
both know how this went.
Yeah, we know how it went, and I'm gonna post it, and we'll see how
I mean,
it went.
you can see the 2 minutes into the argument. To be honest, I mean,
I didn't concede
this
to
is just,
to-
this is,
listen,
this is overtime.
Listen,
This is
here's the
literally
problem with
overtime.
you. Here's the problem with you. You're used to
Hey, man.
saying things to people and thinking that because you say it, as if anybody gives a damn what you say, it means that's what the truth is, right?
I understand.
But at
You
the end of
have-
the day, you're a clown, right? You got clowned because I asked you to show me in your little fake book where it says that it only affirms the Bible or the previous scripture partially. You said, well, if we appeal to the writer of the Quran and we look at the Quranic author and we know that he disagreed with the crucifixion, therefore it means that he only affirmed the scripture partially. Well, then guess what, clown? You would think that he would have said that in 1094 or in 547 or in 3, 3, and 4. But that's not what he said. He said that it affirms the scripture. He has sent down upon you, O Muhammad, the book and truth, confirming what was before it, and he revealed the Torah and the gospel. Notice it doesn't say partially what was in the Torah and the gospel. Notice it doesn't say then ask those who were reading the book, but selectively. It doesn't say that. It says clearly that it affirms those books in their totality, right? You can come in here and you can laugh and you can try to do your little idiotic Muslim apologetics on me, but at the end of the day, like I told Lesbiano and Dean Bat responds, you're not smart. You're appealing to one idiotic verse that literally contradicts all of history. All of history. It's exactly why Bart Ehrman was laughing at Muhammad Hijab, because he said that we know that Jesus was crucified. The atheist stance does not agree with the Islamic stance. This kind of stupidity, this has to be on purpose. And then bro thought he was going to come in here and saying, you didn't answer the damn question. Fool, I asked you 5 times. Show me in the Quran where it says it. Well, we have to appeal to the mind of the scholar. He says we know how this went. Bro said you have to look at the Quranic author. The Quranic author. And because he denied a historically corroborated event out of pure stupidity, therefore it means that the affirmation in every other verse is partial. My goodness gracious, the stupidity. I don't think I could have lost more respect for this guy. I thought he was gonna have a good answer. That to me is absolutely I can't wait to post that. I cannot wait to post that. Holy hell.